There is a version of you that has been sitting very still, in a room full of noise, fantasizing about vanishing, not dying, just ceasing to be the person everyone keeps needing you to be. You've imagined it with enough detail that it almost embarrasses you. A different city, a different name, no phone, no history. Just you, finally unrecognizable, finally free. And the terrifying part isn't that you've thought it. The terrifying part is how good it feels to think it. This isn't a death wish. It's something quieter and more honest than that. It's a self-preservation instinct so desperate, it has nowhere else to go. You don't want to stop existing. You want to stop existing as this. As the version of you that answers emails at midnight and smiles at the right moments and carries the weight of everyone's comfort, like it's the only thing keeping you legitimate. You want to shed that self the way a snake sheds skin. Not to die, but because the old skin stopped fitting somewhere around the time you forgot what you actually wanted. The exhaustion isn't just physical. You know that. Sleep doesn't fix it. Weekends don't fix it. Vacations just move it to a different time zone. What you're tired of is the performance. The continuous, relentless act of being a coherent person with a name and a role and a set of reasonable expectations attached to your face. You are tired of being legible to everyone else, and somewhere underneath that tiredness is a self that nobody has met yet, maybe not even you, pressing up against the inside of your chest like something trying to get out. Here is what nobody tells you about that feeling. It's not a symptom of something broken, it's a signal from something that's still alive. Every structure you inhabit, the job, the relationship, the identity you've curated across years of small surrenders, was built by a version of you that no longer exists. You constructed a life around a person who has since changed, quietly and without announcement, in the middle of ordinary Tuesdays. And now you walk around inside this architecture that no longer fits, touching the walls of someone else's choices, wondering why you feel like a ghost in your own story. The desire to disappear is the recognition of that mismatch. It is not pathology, it is perception. You are seeing clearly, maybe for the first time. But here is where most people make the wrong move. They try to run. They change the geography. New apartment, new relationship, new career, new country. And they carry themselves there, fully intact. And the silence that follows is deafening because the thing they were fleeing was never external. The shadow follows. The weight follows. What you are trying to escape is not your life. It is a self that was never entirely yours to begin with, assembled from other people's expectations, inherited fears, and the particular kind of love that came with conditions you were too young to negotiate. The dissolution you're craving is real, but it's interior work. It asks you to let the performed self die, not the body that carries it. There is a version of annihilation that isn't destruction. It's the quiet, almost violent act of stopping the pretense, of withdrawing the energy you spend every day, maintaining a version of yourself designed for other people's consumption, and redirecting it, finally, inward. This is not selfish. This is survival of a different order. You will lose things doing this. That is not a threat, it's an accounting. Some relationships were only ever built on the performed version of you, and when you stop performing, they will not know what to do with the silence. Some people need you to be legible, manageable, predictable, not because they are cruel, but because your dissolution disturbs something in them they are not ready to face. Let them be disturbed. You are not responsible for maintaining their comfort at the cost of your coherence. The disappearing you need is not a departure, it's a descent. Down into the parts of yourself that have been waiting, patient and feral, beneath all the noise you've made trying to be enough for everyone. Down into the once you buried, because they seemed too strange, too large, too inconvenient for the life you were constructing. Down into the person who exists before the performance begins, before the phone turns on, before the day makes its demands. That person is not dead. They are extraordinarily tired of waiting. You don't need a new life. You need to stop lending your only one to people and purposes that were never truly yours. The fantasy of disappearing is pointing at something precise, a boundary between who you have been performing and who you actually are. That boundary is not a wall to break through violently. It's a threshold, and you cross it not by running, but by finally standing still, long enough to feel what's underneath the noise. The peace you're looking for was never in another city. It lives on the other side of the self you've been maintaining, and the only way there is through the terrifying, unglamorous, necessary act of letting that self quietly, completely go.